G'day, NotJah Witness here, back for another Guyman breakdown video of him trying to do a breakdown video of us doing a breakdown video of him. Thankfully, his channel has returned and he has come back swinging. But this is part 3 and final in this particular series on his teacher's video, and maybe the last for a while, as I have a few other videos in the works coming up that I want to focus on. But now, finally, we pick this up with you, Dr. Guyman, at negative 1,705%. So let's see how far you can go. And mind you, I am still not in a good mood as of writing this, so I am gladly going to take points off for any mistake. Doc, from me, NotJah, you have been friendly enough to me, but a cunt to XC, so they're not pulling their punches, mate. You like the fanfare, but from the outside, you're getting your face pummeled and need to tap out before you're put out to pasture.
Alright! This is Dr. Guyman, and we're back with part 3. The previous video had awful audio quality, so hopefully this one, we got maybe the laptop will work this time.
Well, I commend you on the honesty of your videos. It did have awful audio, which is why you should have re-recorded it when you had your laptop back. It was a shit show, Doc, and not in the good way, mate. You should not project your hate of me onto your teachers. So that is also now projection fallacy, so another 10%.
You were never mentioned in the video as being a bad teacher. 5% for a straw man.
Oh boy, right off the bat, negative 10% for improper use of terms. That is not what a straw man argument is. Also 10% for another improper use of terms. For a projection fallacy, you do not have to mention the person. You just have to project your anger or emotions of them onto someone else. So that is negative 20%. You are at negative 1,725%. You really aren't getting it, are you, Doc? So it's funny how you do this video after I grade both of your videos. So that is a total of 30% deductions, so you are now at negative 95%.
Just because I made this after you graded my videos doesn't prove that you motivated me to make this video. 10% for a post hoc ergo propter hoc fallacy.
No, that is not a post hoc fallacy, so 10% for improper use of terms there, as that is not what I did. I used how you were angry at your teachers and thus it happened when it did. It seemed like you were projecting there, so my point still stands. You are now at negative 1,735%, mate.
We stopped caring when you wrote us up and sent us to the hall for no reason.
5% for an unsubstantiated claim.
Just because you don't want to believe something doesn't make it unsubstantiated. That's an argument from ignorance. I mean, incredulity. Argument from incredulity. Take a drink. Grug, 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 grug.
Well, again, anytime I mention improper use of terms but do not clarify it is for the argument of incredulity point. That is now negative 130% for that one. You are at negative 1,865%. Are you keeping up, Doc?
Grug.
You were sent to the hall for probably being disruptive in class or back-talking the teacher. Again, you seem to have a lot of problems with that issue. So what now, negative 100% for you right now?
I'm not talking about what they did to me. I'm talking about what I witnessed them do to innocent students. My ag teacher specifically kept giving this one guy ISS for disagreeing with him. I have not taken an ag class since then, although I am considering taking a horticulture class simply because there's this hot girl in band class who's majoring in horticulture. But that's a story for another time. Let's just continue the response.
Okay, again, we need to go through this point by point. Negative 10% for an unsubstantiated claim that you saw someone get sent to the hall for no reason. A teacher would only do that if the student is being disruptive. Next 10% for misrepresenting facts and information. The student was being disruptive by back-talking the teacher, and the teacher disciplined him. Now, you say you want to take an agriculture class just for a girl. Now, I will say that is a bad idea. You should, as an old teacher of mine once said, think with your brain and not your dick. so you are at negative 1,885%.
Teachers, the atrocities you've committed against us are inexcusable.
Another 5% for an unsubstantiated claim about the teachers committing atrocities against you.
Just because you don't want to believe something doesn't make it unsubstantiated. This is another argument for incredulity. Take a drink. Grug, 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 grug. You guys should be drunk by now.
Negative 140% for improper use of terms. Again, atrocities has a very clear meaning that you kindly give the definition here in just a bit, and no teacher has committed that. So yeah, that puts you at a whopping negative 2,025%. I never thought I'd see the day that you hit negative 2K, but I think you win a prize for being this stupid. It's called the Darwin Award. 5% for improper word use of the word atrocities.
Atrocity. Noun. An extremely wicked or cruel act, typically one involving physical violence or injury. We just made a video about that last week.
Negative 10% for presenting false and inaccurate information. Also 10% for an unsubstantiated claim, 10% for a false accusation, and 10% for twisting of words. No teacher has ever committed an atrocity against you. If they did, they would not have a job. Also, you're trying to twist the word when it does not fit what you want it to fit. So we can also add 20% for misrepresenting a source, as you are misrepresenting the dictionary to make it fit your claim of something being unfair to something being an atrocity. I cannot wait for you to get to college, as the teachers there will chew you up and spit you out. So you have negative 60% in deductions, so you're now at negative 2,085%. Also another 5% for presenting wrong and factual information, as the teachers are persecuting you for doing their jobs. You are what makes being a teacher so hard.
Sitting quietly in class doing homework is not doing the teacher's job.
20% for misrepresenting a source. I never said you were doing the teacher's job. I said the teacher was doing their job. So you're at negative 2,105%. But lucky for me, I have great students who I care about and want to see succeed. They thankfully remind me every day I'm helping people. To see their eyes light up when they finally understand something that I was trying to teach them. Well, there is no greater feeling in the world than that. So I am lucky those students who make being a teacher all worthwhile outnumber students like you. So
yeah, it's
15% total deductions. You are at negative 115.
Yeah, so it sounds like being a teacher isn't actually that hard.
Being a teacher is not that hard. Oh, you have no idea what you're even talking about. It is one of the hardest jobs out there. 20% for misrepresenting a profession. 10% for making a blatantly wrong and factually inaccurate statement. So that is 30% off, bringing you to negative 2,135%. Trust me, I would love to take more off for your teacher comment, but because you didn't break any other rules, I sadly can't. But I can, XC, and I can say you're a fucking idiot, Guyman. Like and subscribe.
Why don't we care? Why don't you care?
Why don't I care? Well, I do care. That is why I write these responses, as well as why NotJah Witness is reading them to you.
The question was not, why does not XC or NotJah Witness care? The question was, why don't any teachers care?
Teachers do care. You see, that is why they are teachers. So that is 10% for misrepresenting a profession, 10% for an unsubstantiated claim, and 10% for false accusation. You're at negative 2,165%. I also care about my students who have told me that they want to get a degree in history to work at a museum, because I taught her a new love for history that she didn't know. Yet, she was one of my A students, who I brag about to the other teachers.
Yeah, definitely sounds more like favoritism than anything.
10% for false accusations. I never had favoritism. The students earned the A's she got. She was one of the smartest students I ever had the honor of teaching. I brag about all my A students though because they are so rare in my class. So you're now at negative 2,175%. And XC brags about their A students in the same way I brag about our destructions of you, Doc. So 5% for an unsubstantiated claim, 5% for presenting false and inaccurate information, and 20% for insulting teachers again, for saying we do not care when we do very much.
It's another argument from incredulity. Take a drink. Grug, 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 grug. Also, 5% for an unproven assertion. We have no reason to believe that teachers care unless they demonstrate that they care. My teachers have demonstrated that they don't. I don't know about your teachers.
Negative 150% for improper use of terms, 10% for false accusations. Your teachers do care. From what I see, it is you who doesn't care about anything. So, negative 160% for a total of negative 2,335%. I bet your teachers are more than willing to help you, but you have to be willing to accept their help. So you are at a 30% deduction, so that is now negative 145%.
If my teachers want to help me, they need to actually help me instead of scolding me for 2 hours.
Negative 20% for improper use of terms and false equivocation. A lecture is not a scolding. I'm sure your teachers try to help you as they answer your questions, you're just not willing to accept their help. Negative 2,355% is where you sit right now for being an idiot, mate.
Why don't you help us pass your possible class instead of scolding us 20...
Oh, wait, now it's buffering. Oh, come on!
4-7.
5% for an unsubstantiated claim. The classes are not impossible to pass, as everybody else can pass them just fine. Also, 5%.
Then why is 85% of my algebra and biology class failing?
Your own statement proves it is not impossible to pass. If 15% of your class is passing, it is not impossible to pass. I stand by what I have said about your claim being unsubstantiated. So that is 20% for that, as you are reasserting the statement from the video. Negative 2,375 is now your total. 10 for presenting false and inaccurate information, with scolding you 24/7. Again, you just need to ask for help and they will help you. Also, that includes listening to the help as well. So you're now at negative 155%.
30% for biased prejudice. Just because you yourself don't scold your students on your little island in Timbuktu doesn't prove that teachers in America don't.
10% for false accusations of me being biased. Also 10% for presenting false and inaccurate information. I teach in the United States, as I live in the New England area. Also, I never said students do not get scolded. I will give you credit though, you knew Timbuktu was a real place, but it is not an island, so that is 10% for an inaccurate statement. You're now at negative 2,405%. You still haven't worked out the difference between me and XC, Guyman. Jeez.
Either do your job or leave us alone.
5% for presenting an inaccurate argument. Either do our jobs or leave you alone. Sorry, but your teachers do their jobs.
Teachers get paid to scold us for 2 hours? Now I want to ban teachers even more.
10% for a baseless assertion, 20% for misrepresentation of the facts, 10% for false accusation, and 10% for false equivocation fallacy. They are paid to teach you, not to scold you. You are confusing a lecture and scolding, so you are now at negative 2,455% with that 50% deduction. Also, you cannot ban teachers. However, in your case, I don't think they can help. You need medical professionals who were taught by teachers to help you. You know, no one else ever seems to have these problems. opposite looks like. Did you ever think that the problem could be you and your attitude towards teachers? You know, if you do not want help, we can't help you. We can only help you as far as you're willing to let us. So you're now at negative 160%.
Nobody else has these problems? The fact that you would even hypothesize that means you have never been a student ever in your whole life. Put yourself in the shoes of your students and you will see how unfairly we are treated.
10% for an unsubstantiated claim. I was a student 3 years ago in college. I'm 24, so I graduated 7 years ago, as I was 17 when I graduated high school. So yeah, I was a student and I know what it is like. Also 10% for another unsubstantiated claim and 10% for false accusations. The teachers are not unfair. If you think your teachers are unfair, please do not go to college, as the college teachers are much tougher than your high school teachers. So you are at negative 2,485.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're in high school or college and your teacher harasses your whole class, join the Student Lives Matter movement and help us fight for students' equality and wipe these wicked teachers off the face of the earth and banish them back to the depths of the mighty he's today.
Okay, just a heads up, a bit of advice. If you think your high school teachers are mean, wait till you get to college. You want to wipe out all teachers? Well, that right there can be taken as a threat. If your school ever found out about that threat, even in a joking manner, it could be grounds for suspension, expulsion, or even criminal investigations. So yeah, just think before you say anything like that, Guyman. You need to, again, learn source citing.
Teachers deserve to be wiped out. They're terrorists. The school can't punish me for calling them out on that. People's lives are being put in danger by teachers, and that needs to be fixed. So that's basically the whole response. It took 3 response videos to finish the whole thing. Oh, my throat is tired. I'm gonna pass out.
The school can't punish you for that. Actually, in fact, you stating this and restating it could actually be enough to get you a little vacation trip down to Cuba, to a place known as Guantanamo Bay, as what you said here would be taken as a terrorist threat. Also, teachers are not terrorists, so that is 10% for a false accusation. Yes, your school can expel you for making threats against the school and teachers, such as you've done here. I'm only trying to help you here, Guyman. 10% for an unsubstantiated claim that teachers are putting students' lives in danger. So yeah, you are at negative 2,505% total for this video, and I'm sure I missed some points, but that is all that I could find. Whoa, that is over. Wait, what? There is more? Well, look, we'll get to that there, Doc, but be patient with us. Thank you for all the fun, though, and I am really glad that you're back online. Hopefully, we can get some sort of live stream happening one day to chat in person. I just want to spend a moment to thank and shout out a couple people quickly, starting with Fenrir the God Eater, who is my brother from another mother, Don, who is another freaking atheist, and Nadine of Creations by Nadine, my Canadian siblings, Matt, aka the Godless Iowan, and Mrs. Snarky Jen, Diana, our beautiful Lavender Lady, and Faye, our Lady of Wonder, Peter, aka Gonna Go For It, of course, the great anti-theist, Cyrus and Pam, Grumpy Old Dave, Demi, aka Into Ordinary, Cap Brony, my Capitan, and last but absolutely not least, Mac Clark, the Grey Skeptic. These are the people who've helped me to get where I am. They are the people who, each in their own way, have been solid rocks as I explore this new world of YouTube. And I want to thank you all and let each of you know how much I love you and I owe you all so much. I wouldn't be here without you, and I can't thank you enough for every little thing that you've done for me, even if it is just by being my mate. I really appreciate you guys. So everyone's links will be below, and if anyone out there hasn't subbed to these wonderful people, please consider it. There is such a vast array of content that you might just enjoy from these folks, so at least give them a go. I love them all, and I'm sure that you might find a few gems in your eyes as well. On the topic of shout-outs, it has come to my attention that one of our favourite players and mainstays for our community, another freaking atheist, has fallen on some hard times and rather needs our assistance. Now straight up, I am not one to do a money grab, or I would have mentioned my Patreon here sometime. I'm not on hard times. I am not so big that a few dollars from a few thousand wouldn't hurt nobody. But sadly, our good mate Don has fallen on hard times, and he does not yet have the 1 million sub count to help him out. I don't want to put it lightly, but I also don't want anyone worrying for his well-being. So Don is not dying, nor is he sick, or, well, no more sick than he normally is. But look, he has hit some hard times economically, and he doesn't have enough to support on his own to get by. His channel will pretty much come to a halt if we don't step in here and now and help a brother out. So I'm more than happy throwing my name through the money-grubbing mud in front of all of you just to help him. If any single one of you watching this can either throw a few dollars towards another freaking atheist's Patreon, but on a permanent basis, please do. We need you to find that $1 or $2 or more that you are not going to miss each month to pledge to another freaking atheist through his Patreon. We don't need a lot. Our goal is a meager $200 per month to cover his most basic living expenses. This is not life or death, friends, but it is rather serious. If we find 75 people to pledge $1 starting now, 25 pledging $2, and 15 pledging $5 per month, we can easily keep Don afloat. I know this sounds like a tall order, but I also know that when we put the word out and a little work into it, we can easily hit our mark. Now you may ask, what will I get out of all of this? You will not only continue to get awesome interviews with all of the best and brightest new creators on the block, along with the bigger old fogies running about, but also top-of-the-range quality from each video. Never a silent moment, abound with entertainment and intrigue for your senses. Don isn't just another freaking atheist. He is the first name when it comes to finding new atheists and skeptics on YouTube within our community, and always the first to lead them into our hearts. Don is there for all of us, sometimes more often than he should, but this is the time we need to help him. So do anything you can. Throw some dollars or just spread the message, but please pitch in. Show that we aren't just a bunch of fucking misfit cats too busy infighting. Show me that we can actually come together for something. You can find him at Another Freaking Atheist on YouTube, or I will have all of his links to pledge below. So make sure to leave any of your thoughts in the comments section below. If you agree, disagree, or wish to correct me, feel free. Plus, if you have any other topics you want me to cover or dig deeper into, just leave your suggestions down there too. I am on the Facebook and the Twitter machine at NotJah Witness if you wanted to get in touch with me there. And if you would like to see any more on the JWs or any other religious beliefs, as I do what I can to expose and refute them where I can, hit that like button and please subscribe. I really do appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, I'm NotJah Witness.
All I wanna do is live.